James Baldwin when he said, that every artist must finally vomit it all up. And St. Augustine in his Confessions inspire me in this sense that somehow it is therapeutic or shamanic or of the initiation ceremony, a rite of passage. Henry David Thoreau said that if you can write about anything, you should be able to write about your own experience. And his work being passed on to Gandhi, being passed on to Martin Luther King Jr., all that stuff was incredibly inspiring to me. And I've had so many beautiful teachers who've helped to fill in so many blanks, just so I could get this really humble view of what's going on, with the privilege to develop some kind of true sense of deep compassion for us all.
Hi, my name is Trav.
Do not be naive. Do not be naive. We are at war. And do not forget that what we war against is driven by powers and principalities.
For all those of you who'd have me silenced, no way, I ain't going down. You can't shut me up. This is my testimony.
Jesus will deliver you, my children, as he has delivered your father.
I'm so grateful for the time that I've taken to learn to write, T for Travis, because it helps me to describe my experience, and it helps me to have self-respect, to be able to describe my journey. All the best to you. I believe that, listen.
Hey everybody, Travelin' Trav here. Travelin' Trav's Trans-Rational Blues. Yeah, boom. Over the course of many years, I surrendered to a cleansing purge to rid myself in every way of the violent ideology that I perceived to have emerged directly from the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. An almost complete immersion in politically correct leftist academic ideology was at the core of my new path. I came to understand clearly the violent nature of man, the tortured masculine and the female he had tortured, and how the white European immigrant in North America had been following God's instruction to take dominion over all the earth in his invention of manifest destiny and the North Atlantic slave trade. This self-imposed cleansing was accompanied by the serious pursuit to understand Buddhist and other Eastern philosophy, which I perceived had far surpassed my Christian teachings in their surrender to the stillness, the void, the non-practice, the simplest being, the attention to breath, and the non-aggressive awareness to all discursive thought. A deep dive into feminism and critical race theory helped me to understand how my white male privilege had been raping the women and the planet since long before I was born. All of this and much more seemed a very natural progression as I retained all the pacifist elements of my former Christianity. And on top of that passivity, you added some aggressive elements, didn't you, son? Yeah, I did.
This is Travis standing up in his lips, and this is T for Travis.
And this all seemed to jive with the unexplored depths of pluralism that I so greatly admired as I'd seen it arising in the history lessons of the 1960s, civil rights, Vietnam War protests, and the environmental movement. It all served my education process quite effectively. It all fit in quite nicely with my personal tendency to self-flagellate,
No, not flatulate. I said flagellate. Self-abuse, self-harm. And when I say self-abuse, I'm not talking about cutting or hitting myself.
Sometimes you did. There was the hitting. And there was the buying of a rope, a couple really, strong ropes.
What it was like for me was this. I called myself names in the mirror, and I belittled myself as a general practice, as a way of keeping myself in line. I told myself that I was sick. I devoted myself to staying in my rightful place as a man, and that place was in a corner, facing inward, so as not to be threatening to the womenfolk. And when I say womenfolk, I'm mostly referring to my ex-wife, the woman in my life who was most willing to agree with all the conclusions that I'd come to concerning the terrible shame of mankind.
Traveling Trav!
And this is one way I might describe the great crushing of my patriarchal penis. Ouch.
Why would you say that?
It's also important to mention in the telling of this story that I did have to deal with my own broken hurt and violence.
Oh yes, I believe we can see that.
The fundamentalism, the shriveled one, the insecure one, the jealous. Oh, God. Yeah, so all of that personal struggle in the midst of all of this kind of heady philosophical talk I'm doing here.
What we discovered in these religions of the left, namely Marxism, Darwinism, and feminism, was potent indeed. Each of them, in their own way, contributing to a series of great ass handings. That was my ass being handed to me.
I do remember it.
And that's not to say that there's no wisdom or no beautiful curiosity in the path that we came as humans to discover each of these isms. But when you put an ism on the end of anything, well... I'd run from the red church to the blue church. Red church, blue church. I church, you church. Red church is the term I use to describe small-minded religious fundamentalism on the right, conservatism. It's what happens to a selfish, uneducated people, no roots in perennial wisdom, who come to see themselves as the chosen people. A people who have no interest in surrender to God and every interest in controlling your life. Religious fundamentalism, maybe you've heard it called. That's what I was trying to get free from. That's what me and my ex-wife were trying to get free from. And that's how we found the Blue Church. And that's also when I surrendered the steering wheel to my wife, who seemed to be infinitely better equipped to get us where we were going, always along the most direct route, something I rarely ever could do before the invention of GPS.
You're still pretty fucking hard on yourself sometimes, aren't you? Oh, yeah, come on.
There used to be a fountain there on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, there in Portales, New Mexico. And it was there, by that fountain, that Carol and I sat one day as she was being admitted into the English Master's program. We both acknowledged that path, repenting of our ignorant religious fundamentalism and committing ourselves to the path of enlightenment as directed by the ones who wear the priestly robes at the universities. We withdrew our Red Church membership and became card-holding Blue Church members. We both had offices at the university. I taught in the music department, and she taught at the liberal arts building. Did you ever wonder how I became such a wildly talented writer? I was married to an English prof for 20 years. I'm a regular Jude the obscure in a very Dickinsonian sense. Carol and I used to have this fun argument about whether or not I was witty. I'll let you guess which side she took. Silly, she said. You are silly, not witty. Travelin' Trav can no longer agree. Travelin' Trav's Transrational Blues. Come on. What happened next, Travelin' Trav? Said the school children as he sang for them in the grade schools. The Short-Tailed Monkey. That was one of the songs I wrote as my kids were growing up. I very naturally became a children's songwriter for my kids.
Most of these efforts, turns out, were less than welcome, even embarrassing to them. Oh well, Travelin' Trav, better luck next time. I love you, little monkey, and your tail's just right. You make me happy just the way you are. You are enough. You are lovable, and you are capable of loving. Thankfully, I was also tuned in to a liberating voice of self-acceptance, which could never fully bow to the voice of fascist tyranny that I was hearing in the Blue Church. Fascist tyranny. Yes, it's not an exaggeration. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Tune in next time to see how Travelin' Trav escaped the greedy clutches of the evil left hand, the dangerous lefties. The left church, red church, blue church, I church, you church. They church, them church. She church, him church. What is this? What is all this that we're doing? Come on, here we go.
Spider, oh spider, won't you stay away from me? You just go about your business and I will let you be. Spider, oh spider, I mean you no harm. Just remain in your dark corner and stay off of my arm. Thank you very much. Well, spiders, I heard, they have 8 legs and they reproduce by laying eggs. They can live in the forest, they can live in the sand. There's some in my house and there's some in Japan. That's right. Did you know that spiders live on every continent in the whole wide world except for Antarctica? They're everywhere. Some folks think that spiders are gross, and when they see one of them, might as well have seen a ghost, because they got hairy legs and they've got fangs and sticky webs from which they hang. Well, there's jumping spiders and tarantulas. There's the black widow spider, she's poisonous. They've got 8 eyes at the front of their head. Some people would like to see all of them dead, unfortunately. Goodness. Well, they can climb up a wall, they might crawl in your sink. I just hope they don't fall in your Kool-Aid drink when you're sitting at the table eating a meal, because that would be real unwelcome as far as I'm concerned. What do you think? Spider, oh spider, won't you stay away from me? You just go about your business and I will let you be. Spider, oh spider, I mean you no harm. Just remain in your dark corner and stay off of my arm. Have you ever been walking in the dark, maybe in a forest, maybe in a park? All of a sudden you're filled with dread because there's a spider web wrapped around your head. No matter how you spin or how you turn, you can't get it off. This much I've learned. Your imagination gets the best of you. Try to get a hold of yourself, but you forgot how to. Because that's the last thing you want in this whole life, is that little wonder of wildlife crawling in your pants or in your shirt. What if he bites? Hey, that might hurt. I know you are an important part of the food chain, and if you were gone, I'd have so much more for which to complain. But that does not mean I have to make you my friend. So I say it again, yeah. Spider, oh spider, won't you stay away from me? You just go about your business and I will let you be. Spider, oh spider, I mean you no harm. Just remain in your dark corner and stay off of my arm.
Hold on, Travelin' Trav. Are you saying it's time to transcend our pluralism? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Travelin' Travs, trans plural blues. Yeah. There's one